Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about African history. My name is Jessica Kalombo. I'm your host at African Bishimba. We have Mama Sibongile Mvubelo who has actually joined us on this topic, and actually we will be going deeper into the story of Africans as to understanding our roots, our origins, where are we coming from, and who are we as African people. Not delaying, let us hear what she has to say.
I am really delighted to be here. My name is Sibongile Mvubelo. I am somebody's daughter. I am a mother myself. I am a grandmother and sometimes a great grandmother. This is who I am. I hope that the viewers are grateful to meet somebody with just this simple background.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Without delaying, today's topic is about our history, African history. And my first question would be, what is your opinion toward our current historical knowledge as African people?
I am not a historian myself, but I will share just, the little bit that I know. And I would like to say that I am not sure as to exactly what do we mean by history as an African, because at school I was actually a student of history at high school, and I learned, so much about other people than about myself, about my country. And most of the times, it would be things that will kind of, embarrass you, and they will just pass by. But you had to feel very, that you are knowledgeable if you knew about so-called, great people who have made history. If you didn't know anything about Napoleon Bonaparte, and you didn't know much. So this is starting with myself. And now, addressing the youth of today, I can say that, okay, somewhere, somehow, there's a bit of light. What I have learned is that we as Africans, we seem to know his story than our story. To be honest, that is the most dangerous thing. We all know that everything that that is alive has to have roots. It has to be rooted somewhere. And so this whole thing of being rooted, that a tree which has no roots, because now we are really spoiled. We think that everything comes from the market, but things come from the tree. A mango comes from the tree. Avocado comes from the tree. All the fruits that we eat, they come from the tree. And that tree comes from the ground. It comes from the soil. It's rooted. And so we ourselves are supposed to be rooted on our soil. But of course, like I say, that we know more about his story, about somebody's story than our story. And this is the general, perception of that I see from our youth in general. We are really delighted. It started with, I mean, that's what we did. That's what we are handing over to our children, and they are handing it over to to their own children, and that is really dangerous. It's scary, that we are really delighted to tell the stories of others that rather than our own stories. So I think that that is something that really has to change. It is very true that at the moment, young people are trying, they're trying to get themselves to know who they are, but it's not easy because we are owned. We're actually owned by others. And so if somebody owns your time, if somebody owns the channels through which you reach out, like the media, if it is owned by others, I mean, you go to school. I just told you that at school, I learned quite a few things about myself than about others, and so it's that is your education. You go everywhere. You go to church. It's not about you. It's about somebody else. And that is now your spirituality. How is that possible? That everything is owned by someone else and not, by yourself. So the newspapers, that is now the media, from all directions, the television, everything. If you appear, you are just just a dot, a minority in this world. And why is it that we do not know our history? You'll be surprised that actually everybody goes somewhere to find themselves, to find their history. Europeans tried to find it within themselves. It just didn't work. They had to go back and search, and they found that they found a bit about themselves from the Greeks. So they have a source. They have a source of, they created that as their source where they get themselves. But as you go deeper, I don't know, because then I find that the Greeks found themselves also elsewhere. And it was a shock, at least for me, to find that elsewhere, the source where they find themselves is right here in this continent, in Africa. So we need to go and check if that source could give the world what it is today. Why can't we be part of that? Why can't we go to that source? Why are we told that we do not belong there? Why are we told that we do not belong there? Why are we told that we are not part of the Twa people, the so-called pygmies? Yeah. Why is it that we are told that the so-called, the Egyptian mummies who are lying around the world, museums, and they're lying elsewhere outside this continent? Why are we told that they are? We can't be part of them. I am in South Africa. I'm told that I am not part of the San people who belong to the greater, a community of Abatwa. we say abatwa. So there are, we are told that no, we can't be part of them. When the white people came here, they found them and not us. But yeah, it's very, it is unbelievable, and that we believe that as Africans. We need to go back and go and get to know who we are, because you can't say much about the present if you cannot tell about your past. And I know that theologians have tried to check, to say that no, somewhere in the Bible, somewhere we are there, and what yeah, there's one question that I asked myself, and I said, but it's very strange that every time the children of God, whenever they are hungry, they go somewhere. They are told that they must go somewhere. And certainly when they arrive there, there's food, there's plenty, there is everything. But most of the times they move from there and they go. And where do they go to? When I look around, geography says it is in Africa. And why is it that we cannot feel proud about that? Why is it that that is hidden? It is shaded so that we do not touch and feel it. And yeah, so I think that we certainly do need to go back and look at that source and see what that source did to the world, how much it gave to the world, and why is it that we cannot tap into that source and be part of it and be able to reclaim everything that was taken from us. Why do we think that we have to be begging all the time, running around, going to beg people for the things that the world cannot thrive without your resources? That's what I see, as a necessity to go back and reclaim what belongs to the young Africans. Otherwise, your future is doomed. I think that right now we are, in the age of information. We are exposed to a certain level of being, able to communicate and to tell the world what we think. It's still very limited because, obviously, television is still dominant, newspaper is still dominant, cinema is still dominant. We need to reach out and find ways of expressing ourselves. We can't afford to be using that little data just, to be making friendships that are empty. What is it that you have? What is it that I have that we can exchange? And that is, we exchange in a manner of building each other. Our ancestors were sharing so much knowledge. I know that, most of the times we start with slavery, but at another level, the exchange was Africans going to other countries, to continents, to share the knowledge that came from Africa. So we really need to go back there. That they went as teachers to go and teach them how to melt gold, how to melt iron, and how to make use of these minerals. Not only that, but a lot There's quite a lot. We need to go and research. We need to read. We need to look for proper information. We cannot afford today to have our brothers moving around the world. If the resources are there to be able to travel the world, to move now from where I am and to go to Brazil, to go to Europe, to go to Americas, everywhere, we are able to do that. But what is happening? We are in prisons. The young people of Africa are all over in the prisons, in the brothels, working for somebody somewhere. And brothers, they are the ones who are trafficking their own. For what? Could it be for something better? Could it be, for skills? We don't need to be, we just don't need that to be all over the world, to be in prisons because we are arrested for drugs, to be in prisons because we are arrested because we didn't have proper papers, we were illegal, to be in prison because we were in a ship somewhere trying to, to go, I don't know, to Spain or whatever, to go and look for what? Because if those people have to come here and get all kinds of things from here, including food, for your information, if they're able to get it from here, and they everything, they get almost everything from here, what are you going to do? Sinking in a ship, what are you going to get there? If those people depend upon you here, what is it that you want to go and fetch from there? So I think that we really need to go deeper to understand our environment, to understand, what we have here. Everywhere you are, get to know what is there for you to be able to live. Why is it that other people know better about your environment better than yourself, and that you end up going to be a slave elsewhere? Because why do we do that? We need to be, we need to understand our environment. We need to understand where we come from. We need to own our time. We need to own our time. Time is very, very important. It's impossible that you are told that now sit down, it is time to pray. Now stand up, it is time to walk. And now it is time to celebrate Christmas. Now it's time to celebrate a new year. What is a new year? What is a new year to you, when actually it is about renewal? What are you renewing? What makes you to think that this is the correct time to do that? When your ancestors were told by nature, they respected their environment. They respected their environment. And so they understood that now it's time. They felt it in their bodies that it's time for renewal. They saw the reptiles getting renewed. They saw the animals. They saw the trees. They saw the flowers. They saw beauty. And that's renewal time. Is that not the time that you can say, now this is the time, to celebrate? So let us get hold of our time. Get to know who we are and the time that was found by our ancestors. They found time. They gave the world time. Today we are told, there is no hurry in Africa. We are just ignorant people who know nothing about time. Yet we gave the world time. So that when we talk about history, we need to go back to those, to get to know who we are. It is not about a dollar that is, dangled around. No, it's not about the South African rand or whatever Zimbabwean dollar or what. No, you need to know where that comes from. As I say, that everything comes from the soil. It comes from the soil. So I think that we really need to know who we are, and we need to work together. And the minute we really wake up to that, then we will get to know ourselves. There is maybe, a lot to talk about. I'm not sure, as I told you, that I'm not a historian. I'm not sure what you're talking about when you say history, because for me, it is his story. So I would suggest that we start getting to know our story. This is what I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. That was absolutely beautiful. She shared quite a beautiful wisdom. Yes, our sound at the back wasn't the best with our dog that is barking at the back, but we managed to get actually our message, to get actually her point of view, to get an understanding from a mother who is sharing with her daughters and sons, and a grandmother who is sharing also with her grandchildren, and her great grandmother who is sharing for the future generations, who will have an opportunity to hear what she have shared with us and learn a lot from her. Let us not forget who we are. Let us find out. Let us go and search. Let us first research for the right source as to where we need to get these information from. If we have our own parent, our own grandparent, and our own great-great-parent who are still alive, who are holders and keepers of such a knowledge, let us take the opportunity to hear what they have to say, to learn from them, and we will be definitely able to tell a story that will be our story, and we will be able to know our roots, because as she has given also many examples from a tree, that brings a specific kind of fruit, and that fruit, it is easier for us to know a tree which it comes from just from eating it or from its seed. So let us be able to also connect with our history, with our own root, and understand exactly our origins. Thank you so much again, Mama Sibongile Mvubelo, for sharing such a beautiful wisdom, and I hope we will have another interview with her where she will have to actually share more of the wisdom that she's carrying at heart for us, the future generation. Catch me up in the next one. Bye.